WWE is making a massive change. And quite honestly, it's a surprising change. We're going to talk about that plus so much more. This one, it's a big one. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I, of course, am Ango. I want to talk about Julia. You guys know that we've talked a lot about Julia potentially coming to the WWE. And there's some rumors that she could be staying in Japan. However, what I did not find to be happening at all, I did not think this would be even likely or possible. Dave Meltzer has reported that All Elite Wrestling is no longer in contention of signing her. Meltzer recently wrote, "Nothing new on Julia past that AEW has never made a serious play for her, and she's had no conversations with AEW and is not considering them. It's either WWE or staying in Japan." And I'm super intrigued by this because in terms of style, Julia going to AEW makes a lot more sense than WWE. Now, WWE is in a situation where they are currently rebounding. They are currently patching holes. They are currently working on getting the women's division back on track. And in the last month or two, we have seen a significant improvement, but it's not 100% perfect. And that's why, of course, there are some great dream matches, some massive matches you could do with Julia in WWE. You can have her go to NXT first. You can have her go to the main roster first. Charlotte Flair is out with an injury. Julia could come in. I have a lot of confidence that Julia will get over in WWE. I do have confidence. But in terms of in terms of the style and stuff, I truly believe that she would fit in very well with AEW. So to hear that AEW is not even interested in bringing her in, it is shocking to me. And I think it would have been different if this topic was, Julia not having interest in AEW. But the fact that it's AEW not even being in contention, not even really putting out conversations or anything like that, that to me is an interesting head scratcher. Like, are you not interested because you don't think she's good enough? Are you not interested because you don't believe in the value of women's wrestling? Are you not interested because you're kind of done with signing people? There could be a million reasons, and the reality is nobody will really know why. I'm intrigued to see where Julia goes, because if AEW is not in contention and it's WWE in Japan, at this point, there's a lot of things that they could do in WWE with her, but it's going to be a test for Triple H, right? WWE is trying to change the narrative of how they handle international talents, and this is one of those cases where, they can't do what they did with Saray. When Saray came into NXT 2.0 and she had this wacky gimmick and stuff like that, they can't do that. You cannot do that to Julia. Julia also has a very high intensity, strong style approach. So are you going to minimize what she could do in the ring? Those are things I'm intrigued by. I'm curious to see how this plays out, but I'm definitely shocked nonetheless. Guys, remember when William Regal was granted his release from AEW? We had talked about at that point in time that Tony Khan was willing to give him an out clause. They were allowing him to leave AEW so he can go be with his son in WWE. William Regal has been back under WWE for a little bit over a year now. Now Dave Meltzer has reported that William Regal's non-compete clause regarding TV appearances is nearly up, which means he can start appearing on television. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to keep it very simple with what I want to see. I want to see William Regal become the general manager for SmackDown. Not that I have anything against Nick Aldis. I think he's doing a fantastic job as SmackDown GM. But I feel like it's inevitable. SmackDown's GM was not supposed to be GM for long. I think Nick Aldis will get over with the fans. I think Nick Aldis will be a tremendous talent on WWE SmackDown. And Nick Aldis will need a replacement for when he wrestles. So I think this is like my foregone conclusion. I think it's inevitable that William Regal takes his spot. And I would love nothing more than William Regal to be SmackDown's GM, Adam Pearce being Raw's GM. I think it works very well. But also at the same time, too, you have Nick Aldis who could potentially feud with Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton gave him the RKO. That could be a reason for Nick Aldis to step into the ring. And I would say don't wait too long on this to happen. I think, Randy Orton and Roman Reigns got their feud. This entire time, Roman Reigns has been, utilizing the Bloodline. The Bloodline is not at full strength. It could make a lot of sense for Nick Aldis to be the one who cost Randy Orton's championship match. And then that's going to ultimately have Nick Aldis become an active competitor. And then Nick Aldis can't be GM anymore. So then here comes William Regal. That's what I would personally do if I were the WWE. I find that to be a better solution. And quite honestly, I would be very intrigued to see what Nick Aldis could do in the ring with a guy like Randy Orton. Nick Aldis has had some great matches, obviously, as Nick Aldis or Magnus. But you put him in the ring with Randy Orton, I feel like it could feel like a big deal as long as WWE presents it as such. So, very interesting stuff there. I want to turn our attention to Triple H making some massive changes to the WWE. This is a huge company change that honestly I would have never expected, and I'm super curious to see if this is actually going to be a good change. Dave Meltzer has reported that everything will fall under Triple H, Paul Levesque, right? And this is actually in regards to the WWE Hall of Fame. Vince McMahon will no longer be involved in the WWE Hall of Fame, especially for the 2024 class. You got to remember, Vince McMahon was the one who had a lot of control with the Hall of Fame. A lot of people haven't been inducted into the Hall of Fame because of Vince McMahon. Now the overwhelming speculation is that Triple H will definitely rectify some of those broken relationships and honor a lot of people who have yet to be inducted, put them in the Hall of Fame, that type of thing. And I think this is a great change, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never really been a big believer in the WWE Hall of Fame. I think it is definitely, for kayfabe or whatever, I think there's a lot of people who haven't been inducted that should be inducted. And also it just, yes, there have been some people that have been inducted that obviously have never been in the WWE. But for the most part, pro wrestling would be better if there was an actual committee that oversaw a Hall of Fame for every wrestling company. But there is no such thing. There's no organization that does that. So WWE is obviously going to do what they do. It's obviously good for PR for them. But with Triple H taking the reins, maybe Triple H kind of changes that and actually makes the Hall of Fame mean something. It's after 1 or 2 years, I don't think that's enough time to tell. So this will be something that we'll have to look at years in advance. But I'll definitely come back to this video to see if I'm right or wrong. But it's going to be interesting to say the least. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you all for watching today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, and I'll see you next time.